house full of dogs again. So we'll see how everything goes.
Yeah, it's okay.
They're mostly tired. Nick brought over his puppy last night to socialize the puppy.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but Nick Burke and Camille
Oh yeah.
got a
They know.
oh, okay. They got a pit bull puppy.
Oh. Nice.
Pit bull mixed puppy, and so Nick brought her over to play with the dogs to socialize.
Oh.
So
I bet that was so fun to see the puppy. Oh.
yeah, so hopefully that kind of wore out the dogs. So that way they'll just
Yeah.
lay there and sleep for most of yoga. So
What did they name the puppy?
Trixie.
Aw, that's so cute.
Yeah.
She's adorable.
Oh, good. How are you guys? Are you feeling all right?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah. Surviving the weekend with all these dogs.
Yes, that's uplifting.
Just running the old Robert Nisa petting zoo.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh yeah, 'cause you get to work with animals and then come home to a bunch of them too.
I know. I'm constantly surrounded.
Yeah, she worked yesterday for till 2, so
Oh
Yeah.
worked, then come home, 4 dogs, and then Nick comes over with a little puppy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's exhausting. Oh my god.
Well, do what you love, right? Do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So they tell you.
That's what we're supposed to feel.
And until what you do, until what you love is what you do for a job, and then you start hating it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Sad
Yeah.
but true.
Yeah.
How are
Oh,
you guys doing?
we're good. We're just like, I'm dealing with a weird hamstring that just randomly occurred super recently, and
Yeah.
his low back. So we're just taking care.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely. I have to study all day today, and I have an exam tomorrow. So.
Oh,
So you need the
God.
mental clarity.
yeah. Oh, that's a lot of brain work. Oh my God,
Yeah.
damn. Do you feel like, I remember last time you were feeling all right about it? Do you still feel all right about this exam?
Yeah, I feel okay about it. This one is definitely like covers a lot of material. Like I feel a little bit overwhelmed by the material, but
Yeah.
I feel okay about it.
You're gonna do good. You always
Yeah,
do.
you will.
You really do.
I will try.
You're awesome. I commend you for that. Seriously. All right. So for today, we will just be using our blocks. May or may not be using your belt. That one, you'll just have to see if you would like it or not in a couple of these poses. And then a blanket or a towel that we can roll up, because we're going to be on our knees. And even on a jujitsu mat, I was still feeling it in my knees. So just like getting extra padding is gonna feel good. And then you can roll it up to sit on if you'd like. Okay. Prop it. I just feel it. You want to block for your hips? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So last week I was talking about just kind of, I don't know if I had this class with you guys, but I was talking to the Five Rings crew about last week. I was talking to them about modifying your practice. So sometimes maybe you've heard that hashtag yoga every damn day. It's actually quite toxic. So sometimes if you don't need a yoga practice that you would do every day, sometimes you're just mentally like needing something entirely different. Maybe it's just a walk or laying down on the ground.
Yeah.
If you do that mindfully, that is your yoga practice equally. This whole doing your same thing every day just to get to a goal, it's more of an agenda than it is communicating with your body on what it needs. So just trying to shift towards that direction, especially during a pandemic. And so that's what we talked about last week, but I want to contrast that message with something kind of opposite sounding, but they go together. There is this guy, his name is Travis Pollan. He has his PhD in anatomy, physiology. He's a movement expert. He was a 4-time champion in the Paralympics. I don't know what sport exactly he did, but he's a movement expert, and he has one leg. He is a prosthetic on the other side that he sometimes uses. And he made an excellent point to the yoga community that there's kind of some bullshit when we prepare so much, when we warm up our bodies forever, just getting to a certain pose, because ultimately, in evolution, from an anthropology perspective, if we were living in nature, you would want your body to be conditioned well enough to just do what you needed. Like, if you're in nature, you don't have time to do all these cat cows to lift up something heavy. You just want to be fit enough to do the damn thing. So it's the same thing with jujitsu. I heard this from many black belts, other than Justin, just that we train so that if anything ever did happen, we wouldn't have to do all these silly little warm-ups. We could just do jujitsu and handle a situation, but that takes a lot of work in the body. And so just kind of coming back to that goal of, why am I moving? What is the ultimate goal? Like, triangle pose itself is pretty useless to my life. But if I think about the benefits of what triangle pose gives me, helps me go towards these ideas where I want to be like a mountain goat, going up a mountain, just able to do that, or a jungle cat, feeling strong and good. Like, these things, that's what that pose is giving us. So just taking a moment to reflect on, why am I moving? Is it for just mental health today? Do I have an actual goal? And actively like working towards that, instead of this idea of warming up forever to get to the big pose. Like, let's just work on our fitness, or we can kind of just get into it. And that same idea with physical fitness and the physical practice of yoga can be said for meditation. The meditation teacher, Sam Harris, he has a very blunt style of meditation. He'll snap his fingers at you, and it's kind of a reminder to just snap into it. The moment's right here. Presence is right here. You don't need to do all this pranayama and breathing exercises to get to where you need to be, to just get to a state of presence. And so I won't be snapping my fingers at you or anything during meditation, but every time you kind of feel off course, it's coming back, that process of coming back again and again. Maybe that's the same thing with your movement, coming back to, why am I doing this? So that's just the thoughts for today. Going forward, you can take it in our practice and off of that. So if you want to make sure that you're comfortable for meditation, maybe getting a tall seat, fidgeting, getting all that out, letting the energy dissipate. You're going to sit up tall, really lengthening the spine from the bottom of the hips all the way up to the crown of the head. Letting the shoulders drop, top of the arm bones roll back, gently opening up the heart. Softening the breath, softening the body. We're going to lengthen out that breath to a deeper inhale as much as you can. And slow down the exhale where you really breathe it out at a slower pace. Just taking about 5 to 6 rounds of breath here where you can lengthen the whole thing out, top to bottom. And letting the breath go, not controlling it, not lengthening it out. Just coming back to the natural pattern of breathing. And just arriving at presence, arriving at this moment without any change. Just welcoming all these transitions as they are. And every time the mind wanders, we can just remind ourselves and note that to just come back to the breath, back to the present moment right here. And you can close out the meditation, taking 3 deep breaths, breathing in as much as you can, pausing at the top, emptying out the breath slowly, audibly, mouth open, pausing at the bottom, deep inhale, pausing, emptying out the breath, pausing at the bottom, deep inhale, pausing, emptying out, and gently opening the eyes, and gently moving forward, removing the block or blanket if you're seated on one. And just kind of keeping that, you can keep that reverence, that mindfulness, even as we move forward. It doesn't have to be that different from the meditation. We can continue this feeling in tabletop. Gonna come here and start with some cat cows, lifting and dropping the spine, this full range of motion here. Breathing in is go into the pose, exhaling as you come out. And then if you'd like, you can step forward with the right foot, and yeah, you guys don't have a wall. You can scoot up to the back wall, Justin. This can be done with or without a wall, so we'll show you. He's gonna do it on the wall. We're just gonna come up tall, and then see if you can kick your butt with your foot, and you can point the toe coming up. And Justin on the wall, instead of him doing that, he's just gonna press into the wall a little bit deeper, bringing the foot to the glute. So ours is just, we've got a little bit more movement. His is a little bit deeper. And then when you're ready, Justin will stay doing the same thing. We're gonna grab our foot, and if we can't grab our foot that easily, this is where we can really use the belt. Feel free to do that either variation. And we can just bring that foot to our glute. And not taking it too far, because it's still the beginning of class, but just getting a good warm up here, lengthening out the quad. Let's take 3 more breaths. And letting go with the belt or your foot. We're gonna have our hands come down to our feet and keeping the right foot forward. We're gonna do these lizard pose touches. So it's not full lizard pose yet. We're just reaching towards that foot, coming back. I'm trying to add a little bit more fluidity. See if you can open up the chest more, flare out the knee. Open up to lizard pose each time. And then eventually getting to lizard pose when you're ready, opening up fully, flaring out that right knee, opening up the chest, letting the shoulders roll back. And your lizard pose can look differently. It can rather be open as you possibly can, or it can be where this back leg is brought in close to the glute. So just see which kind of lizard pose you need. And gently coming out of lizard pose, we're gonna rise up, and then we can bring our hands together like a point and just lift this up, lifting the rib cage up high as you can. And then when your ribs can't lift any higher, that's when you go into the back bend, dipping forward in the hips, looking towards your thumbs, just a little bit of a back bend, not too much. And bending the elbows down, see if you can just drop your fingers towards that back foot. So maybe that foot can lift a little bit closer towards the glutes. Reach a little more. One more breath. And gently coming out of scorpion. Back to tabletop, moving mindfully. There. And we can go up. Justin will just keep his foot to his glutes as we are moving our foot to kick our butt each time from point to flex. This is a good way to strengthen the quads, the knee. If you're feeling a lot of pressure in the knee, the right knee down, this is where you can use that towel or blanket, kind of pad the knees. When you're ready, getting that foot, you can use a belt for your hands. You get close to the glutes. Let's take about 3 rounds of breath here. Slowing it down. And coming into lizard pose. We're going to do those touches with the left arm swinging back to reach for the foot. Come down. We're flaring open the knee, flaring open the chest and heart. Each time to get into lizard. Yeah, Justin did something awesome right there. He went with his left arm, full range of motion as much as you can. That was great. Okay, let's do about one more. And then you can hold on to lizard pose here. Can be flared open, or you can bring this back foot closer to the glutes. One more deep breath here. And coming out of it, back up. I'm gonna lift this back foot to a point and then drop the hips down and we can get our hands to a point. Lift the rib cage as much as you can for the back bend, getting your elbows bent, dropping the fingers down, looking up, pressing the heart out as much as you can, staying with the breath. One more deep breath here. Slowly coming out of scorpion, back to table. You can have active toes in the back. Lift up to knees bent, downward facing dog. Pressing the rib cage and the chest close to your thighs. And then lifting the hips up, straightening the legs. Pressing into your downward facing dog. Looking up at the belly button, melting the chest. Walking the hands back towards the feet and rising up. Last thing to come up is the head. And then we're going to open up our hands. Flare your toes out. See if you can get all your weight grounded down through your feet. Engaging the calves, quads, your hamstrings. Engaging your core, letting your shoulders slide down and back. We're going to open up our hands, bring them up, Palms come together to prayer center, and then hands come apart. We're gonna lead down with a heavy chest, all the way to forward fold, letting the hips be high up as you can, heavy head, bringing the weight of your body towards the front of your toes. And then pressing into the shins, halfway lift, lengthening the spine, tailbone to the crown of your head. Setting your hands on the mat. With the right foot, a big step all the way back, far as you can, and then the left foot into plank. And then you're gonna chaturanga down, squeezing elbows to rib cage, swimming up with the heart and chest, knees down. See if you can swim through a little bit more. Setting the hips back, active toes, down dog. And then right foot steps all the way up to the hands, left foot all the way to the hands. Halfway lift, lengthening the spine. Forward fold, high hips, weight of your body, rocks forward. Lifting the arms up, that pulls us all the way up to standing. Hands come together, back to heart center. Dropping the hands down, back up. We're gonna open the hands wide, dive down, heavy chest, forward fold, halfway lift, lengthening the spine. And setting the hands on the mat, right foot steps back far as you can, left foot to plank, chaturanga down, up dog. And we're gonna keep the knees lifted on this one as we go up to down dog. We're gonna lift the right leg up, bend the knee, step through. Back knee comes down, that left knee is down, left foot is flat in the back as we rise up. We're gonna get into crescent pose, our gaze following our thumb as we lean back, melting back down to the center, back to down dog. Left leg up high, bending the knee, stepping through, back knee goes down, back foot down, coming into crescent. Melting back down to center. Down dog. Right foot steps up to the hands and then the left. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Arms raised behind you, lifting you all the way up. Hands come together and we're gonna bend the knees and just kind of sit into a light chair pose, not too much. And we're gonna tuck the tailbone in like you're zipping up a tight pair of pants. And just sitting maybe a little bit more, if you can, if it feels all right. And then dropping the hands, pressing out for bear pose. Pushing the spine away. Really opening up our upper back here. And then sending the arms back behind, chair plane. You're free to try to go on your tiptoes or just make sure that you're stable on your feet. It's up to you. Taking a breath here. Coming down, back to center. We are going to revolve, and it can look several ways. It can be up in the air. You don't even have to hook on to anything. If you'd like to hook onto your knees, that's a bit deeper. And you're also welcome to open up your wings here, see if that feels better for the spine. Any of those variations, taking a breath here. And back to center. Moving to the other side, towards the right. And back to center. Gonna melt down. Hips are high, forward fold here. Step back the right foot. And we're gonna get in this lunge position. And then we can step back into a loaded position. So loaded position means then melting the chest and then stepping one foot, melting back to loaded, front step, melting the rib cage and the chest to the thighs like down dog in this loaded position. Flowing through this about 3 times each side. And then we'll have our left foot up in front, right one in back, and we can set down that knee, relax the foot down, and you can just, however you need to change your hands or adjust your feet to get into a straight track. We're gonna flow from these half splits to this lunge. And I've been playing with blocks on this one, and you can really sink into the hips a bit more using the blocks. So it feels a bit different. You see which way feels better for you. Go with that. Okay, and we're gonna go into crescent from here. So just getting the hips to kind of go down into your hips, down towards the ground, and then the arms up high, lifting the rib cage, a little bit of a back bend for crescent. And just taking an easy breath here. Melting back down towards the center. We're gonna move these blocks, unless you want to keep one hand on it. We're gonna go into easy twist. So I personally like easy twist without a block, but it's up to you. We're gonna open up this left arm like we're gonna touch something behind us. Take a big breath here. And coming out of it towards the front. Use your hands on these blocks. Maybe you want it up on the tallest setting. We can put all of our weight into the blocks so this back leg can lift up. And then we can make our way to warrior 3. And then slowly, standing staff pose. Getting the right knee up high as you can. And dropping down to tree that right foot. So it could be on the floor, on the ankle, calf, thigh. I'm just taking a moment to get settled into this. If you want to challenge, you can flare out that right knee and just curve towards that right knee. Should look like a crescent. Coming back, center very slowly. We're gonna melt down. We can get our blocks up in front here, hands on the mat. And we're gonna get into that loaded position. Front step, loaded, 3 times each side. And then getting into lunge when you're done with that, the right foot forward. And it's up to you if you want to use the blocks for this half splits flow. Really think about your knee here. There's been this yoga myth that's been debunked by science recently about yoga teachers that say, don't take your knee above your foot, but in jiu-jitsu we do it all the time, right? So see if you can bring that knee over the foot and completely not use that teaching cue. Get that knee as far forward as you can with this half split flow. That's going to be good for that jiu-jitsu transition I just did. Can help with that. Awesome. When you're ready, getting into crescent. Just taking your time with this. You know your back. You know where your threshold is. How to be safe here. Just taking a deep breath. And gently coming out of crescent. Getting the blocks up in front of us. Back toes active, left hand down. Coming into easy twists. Reaching back. And coming back to the front. All of our hands, weight going into the blocks of the tallest setting. Coming up, that back leg lifts. We're slowly making our way to warrior 3. And transitioning up to standing staff. It's okay if we're wobbly, just breathing into that. Dropping down to tree. So using your hands if you need. And again, if you took that crescent challenge on the other side, doing that here. Back to center. Woo. Hands can drop down, shake out the legs. Awesome. We're going to ground down through the left leg as much as we can, making the right one light. We're going to step back far as we can. And the back heel drops down so the back foot's in a 45-degree angle. We're going to square the hips towards the front. And both arms come up, lifting up the rib cage high as we can. Bending in that front knee. Maybe you can get deeper into the hip, bending a little bit more. Opening up to warrior 2. Your gaze looking over the left middle finger, flaring out the left knee, dropping down the shoulder blades, tall spine, back arm comes down for reverse warrior. Reaching back, getting a good stretch in the left rib cage. And coming down, side angle, right arm overhead. And then we're gonna come to center and use our hands on this block. Send it forward just a little bit. And we're working on half moon. So maybe we don't send the arm all the way up. What if we just kept our hand on our hip and focused on rotating up towards the ceiling, just a little bit more of our chest or shoulders, having this back foot flexed, and coming back to center, both feet down, and then rising up all the way, hands come together, and drop down. Taking a deep inhale. And exhale. Grounding down on the right leg. Left foot's light. Stepping back as far as you can. That back foot goes to 45 degrees. Heel down. Squaring the hips. Arms raise up. Lifting the rib cage. Flaring the right knee open and bending into it. Dipping into this right hip a little bit more. Opening to warrior two. Looking over the right middle finger. Dropping the shoulder blades down the spine. Tall spine. Bending more into this right foot. Back arm drops down the leg. Right arm overhead, reverse warrior. Coming down for a side angle. Left arm reaches as much as you can overhead. Long stretch. Coming to center. Our hands are going to go on our block, right hand specifically. And the blocks move up just a little bit in front of you. Again, left hand is on the hip. And we're just working on rotating. Oh, if we wobble, it's fine. We're just working on rotating the chest up so that eventually maybe we can look up towards the ceiling. And that would be more important than the arm. Nice job setting the left leg down towards the center. And then come up. Hands all the way up. And back to the center, taking a deep breath here, filling up the lungs. Exhaling it out. Running down through the left leg. Right one is light. Sending it back far as we can. Back foot is 45 degrees. Warrior one. And taking all those cues in mind, just fixing it as much as you can. And then straightening the legs when you're ready. Placing both hands, starting at the hips, the thighs. Just seeing, can I elongate my spine and keep my hips square anymore? Okay, see if you can go down. Same adjustment. Hips are square, long spine. Go all the way down. And maybe you can go down far enough, like where your block is. It's up to you. Maybe it feels best to just stay up at the thigh. Just taking a breath here in pyramid. Breathing into the legs. We're going to root down our right arm on this block that's on the outside of the left foot so that we can twist. The left arm comes up towards the ceiling for a revolved triangle. Taking a breath here. And coming back to center, we're going to go all the way towards the right. For wide leg straddle, hips are high. And you can reach for each ankle. One arm goes up, the other one's across your body. And then taking a moment to grab opposite elbows and just hang here. Lifting the hips a bit higher and sending the weight of your body towards your toes. Placing your hands on your hips. We're going to lift up from the hips. And then bring your feet to the top of the mat. And then ground down through the right leg. Left foot is light. Stepping back far as you can for warrior one. We're taking all those adjustments and we're really being slow about it. Good form. Flaring that knee, reaching up. Bending a little bit more forward into warrior one. And then we're going to straighten both legs. If you need to shorten the distance to keep your knees safe, do that. We're going to have both hands on the thigh. And then maybe if we feel good, we can slide down. Take our time here. If it's just too much, this pose is kind of low, you can stay up at the top. See where you're at here. Kind of avoiding the knee. You don't want to press into that too much. And maybe you can get your block ready on the outside of the right foot to lengthen your spine here. In pyramid, we're going to slowly revolve our triangle pose here. Reaching up and twisting. Make sure that you can breathe. And gently coming out of it, swinging towards the left for a wide leg straddle, reaching for each ankle. And then grabbing opposite elbows, swaying, hips are high. And the weight of our body is towards the top of our toes. Almost like we're going to fall forward. Hands on your hips. And we're lifting up from the hips. And stepping up. We're going to drop our chin down. And you can feel this long stretch in the back of the neck by grounding your chin down to your chest, long back of the neck. And we're going to keep that sensation going as we roll all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae, until our hands begin to touch the mat. And when your hands touch the mat, you're stepping back into a plank. You're going to softly enter up dog and lowering down onto your stomach. You're going to place both hands underneath the shoulder bones and then see if we can lift up our hands, lift up our shoulders, and lift up both feet, grounding down through the hips. And taking a deep breath here. And coming down. We're gonna have our hands interlaced behind our back. Same thing, the hands pull the shoulders, the chest up, and then the feet come up. And we'll take 2 rounds of breath here. Coming down very slowly. And pushing up to table. We're gonna go into your choice of either sleeping swan. Sleeping swan, the foot is close to the groin, and pigeon pose is where you keep a 90-degree angle, and on that one you're more likely to want a prop to keep the hips up. So either variation, it's up to you. Using all your props, maybe a blanket to rest the head and arms. Just getting comfortable however you can. And breathing into the hips. Softening the jaw. Softening the mind. And relaxing into the posture. And seeing if we can elongate the breath here. A little bit longer of an inhale. Slowing down the exhale. And when you're ready, gently pushing yourself up, moving the block out of the way. Coming back to tabletop and maybe a quick child's pose before entering the other side. And it can be sleeping swan, it could be pigeon, it's up to you. Maybe that block is more on the glutes, maybe it's under your thigh. Just kind of see how best to support yourself, where you can melt down and feel comfortable. And relaxing the jaw muscles, the neck, and the shoulders, and all the way down the spine, relaxing the hips. And breathing into the space with a long inhale, slow exhale. And with each breath, there's a relaxation response. gently coming out of the posture. Very kind to the body, moving slow. We're gonna make our way onto our back. And getting the right leg in front, we're gonna just thread this one on top, bringing the right shin closer to the chest. Grounding down the little spine. And grounding down the hips. And pulling the right shin just a little bit closer to the chest. And then we can bring the knees together. The right thigh stays on top. Just seeing if we can grab each foot here. Maybe bring it a little bit closer to the chest as well. And pulling the feet in. And gently letting go. With the left leg on top, bringing my legs closer to the chest. And breathing into the sensation that's in your hip. And each breath, bringing a little more space. And getting the knees together with the left thigh on top. Grabbing each foot, hugging that in. And letting go. And we'll come into bound angle. Let the knees splay out. And then resting our hands on the mat. We're gonna do 5 bridges, lifting up the hips as we breathe in. Exhaling, setting the hips down. Let's do 4 more. Last one, lifting up high as you can. Setting the hips down and just resting here in bound angle. Maybe your hands move one to the stomach, one to the chest. Feel free to also support the knees with a block if that feels good. And we'll just take a couple of moments here before we go to Shavasana. And with each breath, we're breathing into the hips, softening the muscles, grounding down. And when you're ready, you can bring the knees together for a constructive rest pose. Your feet are apart, knees touch. Just take this moment to really let the low spine, the low back ground down, melting into the mat, feeling the support of the ground. From there, just gently kicking out the legs, letting the ankles fall naturally. Hands can be one on your stomach, one on your chest, or palm up on the ground. And we'll be here for about 5 minutes. So no need to worry about time. You can just use this to decompress and rest deeply. And we can gently start to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, and make our way to our favorite side using the bottom arm as pillow. And just being very mindful and aware of the breath right here. And how the whole body responds to the slowed down breathing. And letting this sensation, this peace wash over the whole body. And gently pressing yourself up to seated. Keeping the eyes closed. We can close out the practice with a deep breath, deepest one you've taken all day, filling up the lungs, and pausing, observing all that space, and emptying out the breath, audibly pouring it out. Gently opening the eyes. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Hope you feel good.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you. Yes.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was the same thing we did on Friday, but felt like it could use a little more work. So, oh, thank you guys. I hope you have such a good study session, Issa. I know that's not easy, especially on a Sunday when you just want to relax. So,
But oh well.
Oh, well.
you're
I
amazing.
already did, like I didn't work on Friday, so I studied like 5 hours on Fridays.
Oh, you're so good.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and do more too. So.
You got it. Awesome. I know you're
Good work,
suffering.
Issa.
You're like,
Your,
oh,
your hard work
getting
will pay
there.
off.
Yep, getting closer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right. You guys have a good Sunday. It was good seeing you.
You too. Thank you
Good
so
seeing
much.
you guys.
Sure. Take care, guys.
Yeah, it was good seeing you. Sort of.
Good rest of your Sunday. Bye, guys.
Bye.